What's going on, everybody? Kalipis Tech here, coming back at you with another video. In this video, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks for the BLU F92e 5G that you might not know about. Now, as always, if you do end up wanting to learn more about this phone, definitely check out the description, where we'll be linking to several other videos about it, as well as some information about pricing, availability, and some of my favorite smartphone accessories. But with that being said, let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a feature called adaptive brightness. As the name suggests, this feature is basically going to adjust the brightness of the display based on your environment. So if you're like outside in the sun, for example, or in a really bright room, it's going to brighten things to make it easier to see. But if you're in a darker area, it's going to dim the display, and this is going to make it easier on your eyes and save a little battery. So to get to this feature, what you're going to do is go to Settings. From here, go to Display. As you can see, by default, adaptive brightness is not going to be on, but if you turn it on, it adjusts right away. Now I'm going to show you how you can customize your app icons. Definitely a cool feature that you don't see in every phone. To do this, what you're going to do is press and hold your finger on a blank spot on your home screen, so make sure it's not like an app or a widget, because if you do that, this is going to happen, which is not exactly what we want. So again, press and hold your finger on a blank spot on your home screen, so like this. Then from here, go to where it says Home Settings. And now to customize your app icons, there are two different spots. First of all, you can actually customize the icon itself. So of course we have the default, and you can also even add your own photos, which is definitely cool. And in addition to this, you can customize the app name too. So Chrome, you can rename it to whatever you want. So if you're into personalizing things, definitely a nice option to have. Now I'm going to show you how to show and hide your battery percentage on the status bar. So as you can see right now, the battery percentage is not up there, and in my opinion, I personally like it like this, just because it makes things look a little bit more minimalistic. But if you do want to have the battery percentage up here, what you can do is go to Settings. Then from here, go to System, and this is going to be at the bottom. So right here. From here, go to Battery. And as you can see, battery percentage is right here. Toggle it on. And now the battery percentage is going to be up here. Now keep in mind, this is really up to personal preference. On this phone, it's definitely not nearly as bad, since the percentage is actually inside the icon and not next to it like most other phones. So I feel like even if you want things to be a bit more minimalistic, you can leave it up here and it doesn't really change things. But if you don't want to have the battery percentage up here, like again, I personally just like it like this. If you ever do want to actually see the battery percentage, but you don't want it up here full time, all you have to do is swipe down from the top and it's going to show no matter what. Now I'm going to show you how to make a screen recording. Now there are technically two different ways to do this, and they're both in the same menu. It's kind of weird. But essentially, to make a screen recording, swipe down from the top twice. So 1, 2. And the first way is through Super Screenshot. And unless you change this menu at all, it's going to be right here. So tap on this icon. And this is basically the Super Screenshot, basically a screenshot that's a little bit more customizable. And if you want to make a screen recording, the button is right here. Tap on this. This screen's going to show up. You can have it record audio. By default, it's going to record nothing. But if you turn this on, you can have it record device audio. Or if you hit the drop down, you can also have it record the microphone, so if you want to narrate it, or device audio and microphone. You can also have it show touches on the screen. Definitely good if you're trying to make like a tutorial. When you have all the options the way you want them, go ahead and hit start. And now we are recording. So as you can see right here, this is pretty much the thing that says you're recording. So you can do whatever you want. See, there's the little cursor. And when you're done, pull down the shade and hit stop. And now it's pretty much going to be saved right to your photos. That noise is so loud. But anyway, that's pretty much it. And then aside from the Super Screenshot, there's the regular screen recording button that does pretty much the same thing. So again, if we swipe down twice, scroll 2 pages over, and the regular screen record button is right here. There's really no difference. Just keep in mind, for some reason, there are 2 screen recording buttons that do pretty much the same thing. And that brings me to the next thing I'm going to show you, which is how to actually edit the quick menu. Now essentially, the quick menu is that menu we were just on. So again, swipe down twice from the top. So 1, 2, and this is the quick menu. There's a lot of stuff in here, some that's really useful, and some like the second screen record button that I feel like nobody's ever going to need. So if you ever do want to change anything on here, what you can do is hit this pencil icon right here. And essentially, up here at the top, this is everything you have in the menu right now. And below this line, this is everything you can add. So if we want to get rid of that second screen record button, press and hold, drag it to the other side. And that's pretty much it. And of course, if you want to add something, you're going to do pretty much the same thing. So press and hold, drag it up here, and that's pretty much it. When you're done, simply hit the back button, and there we go. In addition to this, if you ever want to reset things to the default from the quick menu, what you can do is hit the pencil icon one more time, hit these dots up here, and hit reset. And now everything is going to be right back to the default. Now I'm going to show you a quick way to get to your camera. This is a cool feature because aside from being really convenient, it's also enabled by default, so you don't have to mess around in the settings to turn it on. So no matter what you're doing on your phone, if you ever want to get to your camera quickly, all you have to do is double press the power key, so like this. And as you can see, the camera opens right up. Let's try that one more time. Say you're on an app or something and you want to get to your camera really quickly. Again, double press the power key. There we go. And one more time. This time the display is locked. And there we go. So definitely a cool shortcut. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called the side application bar. Now, this is cool because it's basically like Samsung's Edge panel, and that actually makes this the first non-Samsung phone I've seen that has this feature. So for this, what you're going to do is go to Settings. From here, go to Intelligent Assistance. So right here. Then from here, turn on side application bar. With this feature on, to activate it, swipe from the side like this and kind of just hold it there for a second. And there we go. So if you're coming from a Samsung, you're probably going to recognize this. But in case you've never seen anything like it before, it's basically a shortcut bar with a bunch of different apps, and you can customize it. So if you hit these dots, you can also add and remove different apps. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your screen color mode. Now, despite only having a 720p resolution, the BLU F92e 5G is actually one of the few cool phones in this price range that actually does have some additional color settings. So for this, what you're going to do is go to Settings. From here, go to Display. Then from here, go to Screen Color Mode. So right here. As you can see, by default, it is going to be set to standard, but if you want to enhance the colors a bit, you can do Vivid, and this is basically going to make the colors a bit stronger. Definitely nice to have that option. I don't know if you can really tell here, but in Vivid mode, the colors do look a little bit nicer. And then you can also do Cool Color. So at the end of the day, the different color modes aren't really a huge night and day kind of difference, but it does change things a little bit. And of course, it is up to personal preference, so I definitely recommend playing around with it a bit and deciding for yourself which one you like the best. The next thing I want to talk about is a feature called the breathing light. Now the breathing light is a pretty unique feature. I haven't actually seen anything exactly like it on any other phone. There's some Motorola phones that have like a LED notification, but most manufacturers have done away with that kind of feature. But with the BLU F92e 5G, there is a feature that is on by default, and it basically shows up right here in the camera module, and essentially it's like a blinking notification light. So if you are looking for something like that, which I know a lot of people really do like that feature, then you've definitely chosen the right phone, because honestly, I don't really know many phones that have a feature like this. Now there are some settings for it you can change here. So to get to them, go to Settings. From here, go to Display. And then from here, go to breathing light. So right here. So again, by default, it is on. If you want to disable it, of course, toggle it off. In addition to this, you can also have it turn on and off at certain times of day, so maybe you don't want it going off at night. You can do that here. There's some other settings here you can change. And then keep in mind, by default, it's only going to be on for your phone and your text messages, but it also works for pretty much every other app that sends notifications. So unfortunately, if you want to turn it on for other stuff, you are going to have to do that manually, as you can see here, pretty much one by one, but still all the same, definitely a nice feature to have. And then finally, the last thing I'm going to show you is a feature called one-handed mode. Definitely a useful feature, as the name suggests, or I think it's called single-handed mode on this phone, but same thing. It's basically going to shrink the display down and make the phone a bit easier to use with one hand. So to get to it, what you're going to do is go to Settings. From here, go to Intelligent Assistance. So right here. And then from here, go to single hand mode. So as you can see, by default, it's not on, but if we turn it on, now to get to it, all you have to do is, if you want it on the right, swipe from the middle to right, so like that. And there we go, it's basically a mini display. So if you're using it with one hand, as you can see, quite a bit easier. Then as you can see here, to get out of it, just hit anywhere outside, so like this, and we're back to normal. And then if you want it on the left, same thing, swipe from middle to left, so like this. And there we go. So definitely a cool feature to have. But this concludes my tips and tricks video for the BLU F92e 5G. Again, if you do want to learn more about this phone, definitely check out the description, where I am linking to several other videos about it, as well as some information about pricing, availability, and some of my favorite smartphone accessories. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow Kalipis Tech on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, I will see you in the next video.